Okay, so it's a wee while since I take a seat. I'm really looking forward to catching up with Graham again. Graham was a willing victim of mine last year. I think it was last year. It was last year, Graham, wasn't it?
It was last year.
So it's a wee time since we've had a bit of a catch up, but it's brilliant to have you on. So for those of you that, and Graham knows loads of people, but if you haven't met Graham before, Graham Parker is actually a chamber board director, but for his day job, he is based at Condies, and Condies are a new enterprise partner of the Chamber, and they actually sponsor our quarterly economic indicator survey and report as well. So we're hugely delighted to work closely with Condies and looking forward to interviewing Graham and a few of his colleagues over the year. So Graham, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So our Take a Seat is the usual mixture of some kind of work-based questions, some slightly random ones that we throw in, but I'm hoping that we're easing you a wee bit gently into this, Graham. But I'm just interested in, how you have found the past couple of years and what you reckon that 2022 is going to look like in your role.
So I think the past couple of years it's probably been challenging for everybody. I think everyone's had the same problems in the sense of doing what they enjoy most about their job, and it's not often sitting in front of a screen. The biggest part I enjoy my job is going out and meeting clients, ideally at their premises, because that's when you get to meet them and what they do. I see how they're getting on, which is a massive part of what I enjoy. So that's probably been the biggest challenge, and I think for the rest of 2022 then that's what ties that in, and that's exactly what I want to do, get out to clients. I was at one yesterday, and they were able to show me some new kit that they bought, what they purchased, and what their plans were for 2022 as well. So maybe not just what my plans or Condies plans are, but also what clients are working on. So that's a great conversation starter already, and I can go away and pull together some plan of action for them for their own business plans. And that's really what I enjoy doing. So that's probably the challenge that I've missed and now getting to enjoy again, really.
Yeah, I share that too, because sometimes it's not until you get out and see people and you kind of see their business, and then you just have that, that kind of coffee chat, that things come out in that conversation that might not normally. And I'm sure for you it'll be things like, you'd be saying to people, oh well, you bought that bit of equipment, how about offsetting tax or whatever, the advice, or actually somebody might just say, oh, we're tired of that thing breaking down, and you go, well actually now's the time because there's been additional government support, or it's just so difficult to kind of have that that learning when you're not able to see people face to face. It's really nice to get out and about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100% agree.
So that's work. But what have you seen? What would you say is the biggest change then to your life outside of work that's happened during that pandemic?
It almost ties into work in some respects, but it's been able to pick my daughter up drop her off my daughter off at school and pick her up, because I would never have been able to do that normally because I would have been in the office at 9 o'clock. So, and obviously working in Dunfermline, which wouldn't have been possible. So now I've got that bit of flexible working. I can go and pick her up from school or after school club at 5 o'clock, and drop her off in the morning at 9 o'clock. So it's brilliant. So I've really enjoyed that, and I would never have got to do that normally. And I suppose it is kind of it's almost work related, but it's not really. But I think it's it's something I couldn't have done otherwise.
Yeah. And the other thing that I'm asking people is obviously about being out and about and meeting people, and we've talked about that. But you obviously are then beginning to get back out. But are you finding that some people have been a bit strange about that, or how has it felt to you?
Yeah, I suppose at the very start it's always awkward, isn't it? Do we go in for the handshake? Do we go in for the elbow, or do we just keep our distance? And there is still a bit of that. And I think I'm more going with what the client wants to do. So I pick up the phone and say, I'm more than happy to come to you, but let's go with what you feel comfortable with. And it's a difficult conversation sometimes because you just don't know what people are feeling, and they don't want to say no, you can't come. So it's just gauging really what they want to do. But ideally, I'd obviously rather go out and see them and see what they're up to, really.
Yeah, I bet you've got some clients that go, oh no, you can't come out and see me because the receipts are still lying all over the desk.
No, we don't do that. No receipts allowed. Everything's digital.
Okay, random question then. Sweet or savoury? And what is your favourite food then from the thing that you've chosen, sweet or savoury?
Right, okay. if you'd asked me this 15 years ago, I'd have went sweet and said anything that was just covered in chocolate. But I would say I'd always go for a starter rather than a dessert or a pudding. So probably savoury now. And it's not I suppose my favourite food. I like fish. Anything fish related, I guess. I don't get it at home very often because my wife doesn't eat fish. So when I'm out, I always eat fish. I think monkfish is always what I'd probably go for if it was there.
Yum. Yeah.
It's always good.
You know, I have the same thing with mushrooms because my husband doesn't like mushrooms. He hates the smell, he hates the texture, the whole thought process. So I go out and the first thing I do is pick up a menu, look for the mushrooms.
Take full advantage.
Absolutely, for sure. So another slightly random question, but it's just the interesting bit about you as a person. So what did you want to be when you left school?
Well, music teacher, strangely. So I applied to university to go into music. And I remember going up to Aberdeen University actually, and I had to sing. Was it Aberdeen? I think it was Aberdeen. I had to sing at the interview. Now I don't really sing. I can play the piano. I can play a brass instrument, guitar, but singing is I don't sing. So I didn't get into university to do that. But that would have been what I would have ended up doing, I think.
God, that's a teeny little bit mean, isn't it? If you were so good at all the other bit, but you just couldn't sing.
From what I gather, it was to do with joining the choir, and as part of the degree, you were to join the choir. And
right, so
it was a while ago. It's maybe not. It was a while ago, mind you. Time has flown by, so it was a while ago. So perhaps the rules aren't quite the same now.
It's a little bit difficult to mime when you're the only person that's singing at an audition, whereas in a choir you would absolutely get away with that.
Yeah, I was thrown. And I thought that's fine. I'll go and show my musical talents. And then I got the interview letter saying, "Oh, we're expecting you to sing as well." And it was a bit of a last minute panic that, oh, hang on a minute, I don't do that.
Okay.
But no, it was looking back, it isn't career different path if you like.
I'd have been like, but I've brought my triangle.
Fight words.
That was all I got away with it in school. What about if you could do any job at all now then? What would it be and why?
Okay. It's been a strange route. I guess I would never have been an accountant. Looking back, that wasn't something I ever thought I would be. But I do love my job. I've done it for ages now. I think something outdoors probably. I love hill walking, and just walking in general. So probably something outdoorsy. I'm not very sure what that would be, but something outdoors. Escape the desk for a little bit. Escape the desk for a little bit.
Yeah. The other thing that everybody seems to be talking about at the moment, apart from the pandemic, are innovations and kind of digital innovation. And there's been obviously a lot of innovation. Part of it caused by the pandemic, and part of it, people have been able to kind of really take a look at this. So how has your business evolved digitally, and what do you see on the cards for it then going forward?
I think to hear exactly what you said, I think looking back, we accelerated any plans to be more digital, and we were already quite good at paperless, and we were already doing quite a lot. But with the accountancy profession on its own, it's becoming very digital. Making Tax Digital kicks in on the 1st of April, so this will probably be going out after that date. So it'll already be started, and that means that all VAT registered businesses must submit their VAT returns electronically. So we're having to keep up all the time with any changes in technology, any new any apps that are coming out, and working with software to help clients. That's really where the whole industry is going. To be fair, it already is there. It's just always developing.
There's been obviously a lot of that innovation has been driven by some of the kind of the big players, hasn't it? And I guess it can be difficult maybe for a firm like yours to decide which one to go with. Or do you find that you've got to offer a range of those different solutions because your clients choose different things?
We do have a preference. Xero is our go-to. But you're absolutely right. So we get to a XeroCon later this year as well. So that's brilliant in London. Missed that for 2 years, so that's exciting this year. But generally, yeah, you would need to be able to work with your Sage and QuickBooks and Free Agent and all those other ones that are out there, because there are clients that would sometimes prefer them, or sometimes maybe Xero just doesn't quite work for whatever reason for them. So to be able to have the options as well. But I think if there was a go-to one, then that's what we would always suggest.
Yeah. If you were offered a 4-day week, would you jump at the chance?
No. I like my 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and I think it's because I've gotten to a nice routine now. My wife works 2 days in the office and 2 days at home, and she's off a Friday. So actually, me being at home the 2 days that she's in the office, and then me being in the office 3 days that she's at home, actually works in really well. So we're not working in the same space together, which can often be difficult with phone calls and such like. So I actually it works really well for me, and it works really well for us. So I don't think I would change that.
Yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it? It's one of those things, isn't it? Do you take a cut in your hours? Do you work longer days? And kind of the thought of either of them might not be very palatable, mightn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and there's obviously a lot of work talking around flexible working and making sure everyone's comfortable. But actually, it doesn't work for everybody. Some people like the knowledge that that's their hours and they can go home and put their feet up and don't have to work at the weekend. I know it's getting that balance right. It's the difficult bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Okay, if you were given unlimited funds to move any place at all in the world, where would you go and what would you do?
Okay, well, I thought about this, and I thought I've got some family in Canada, and I think I'd love to go there, but I would actually keep it quite local. I would probably move to the countryside somewhere, buy a little country pub, and run that. I think that'd be brilliant. I think that'd be brilliant.
Yeah,
That'd be
I
my
think that would
ideal.
be fab, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure where in the country, but just somewhere out the way that maybe we'll really get a few visitors. And if it's unlimited funds, then I could run it without having to worry about customers. So it'd be fine. Don't have to wait for queues.
Okay, random question number 2-ish, if the others haven't been random. If you could invite any 3 people to dinner, who would you ask? They can be dead or they can be alive. Obviously,
So,
maybe not dead at your table. That might be weird.
yeah, don't come to my country pub and then die on me. That's not
Oh.
good. So Hugh McGregor. So I think, I don't know. It'd be good chat from Hugh McGregor. Stephen Fry and Don French.
Brilliant.
So
that would be pretty funny.
That would be a good team. I think that would be a good laugh. Yeah.
Love it. And just kind of my last formal question, really, what's going to be the priority for you for your role for the rest of 2022 then?
I think it's always a priority, just to make sure that clients continue to get the quality of service and the expertise they expect, really. That's not wavered in the past 2 years, and just make sure it continues as we now come out and are let loose even more on the world. I think that's really, really important. So that's just continue with that, really.
Brilliant, yeah. And what about if people want to buy you a coffee or just have a bit of a follow-up chat? How do they get in touch?
Yeah, LinkedIn is always the best place. Or I think my number's on there, so pick up the phone. Pick up the phone is always the best way.
Yeah, hasn't that become very old school?
Yeah, well, bring back, it's almost like send a letter. Send a letter. I'll get it.
The young people that are watching this will not know what I'm talking about, but in the old days, I can remember having to do carbon copies of letters where you put the carbon sheet in.
Behind you, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
See, that's fun. There's nothing apart from when we don't even get bills by the post anymore. It's only just junk. But it'd be nice to get a letter.
There you go. Well, so if you want to stand out, yeah, send Graham a letter. We will put so our take a seat videos always go up on the chamber website as well as up on our YouTube channel. So we will share some details and put a wee link to your LinkedIn post as well, Graham, just so that people can follow up and kind of invite you out for coffee. You might get somebody that wants to sell you a pub. You need to be careful. Graham, thank you so much for taking the time to come on again. It's been really fun. I've enjoyed listening to your answers. Is there anything else that you wanted to highlight before we disappear?
I don't think so. I'd say thank you for the sponsorship of the QEIs, the quarterly indicators, and looking forward to the next year.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to interviewing some more of your colleagues as we go through the year. So
absolutely.
Yeah, but thank you again. I really do appreciate it. And thanks to you for watching and taking the time to listen back. If you want to take part in our Take a Seat interviews, then please just get in touch with the Chamber. Would love to talk to some more people. So thanks very much. Thanks, Graham.